All right, let's get right into it. For more than 400 years, one name has just loomed larger than any other in literature: William Shakespeare. And today, we're going to figure out why he has such incredible staying power by looking through the dark, twisted, and totally brilliant lens of one of his greatest tragedies, Macbeth. I mean, come on, who hasn't heard this line from Hamlet? It's the perfect example of Shakespeare's genius. See, he didn't just write plays, he actually wove his words so deep into our culture that things we say all the time, like a wild goose chase or break the ice, they come from him. So that really leads us to the big question, right? In a world where we've got new shows, new movies, new books dropping every single day, why do we keep coming back to Shakespeare? What is it about his stories, and especially a really dark tale like Macbeth, that makes them feel so relevant, even now? To get that answer, let's start with just the sheer scale of his influence. Because this isn't just an English thing or a Western thing. Oh no, it's a global phenomenon. You know, his appeal is so universal because he just got it. He managed to capture the raw essence of human conflict. Ambition, guilt, love, betrayal. These aren't just 17th century problems, they're human problems, plain and simple. And that's exactly why his work has been translated into over 60 languages, and his plays are still on stages everywhere, from Tokyo to Toronto. He's a true icon of our shared literary history. Okay, so to really dig into this legacy, we're going to zoom in on one of his most powerful, most intense works, Macbeth. It's this incredible story of a Scottish general whose ambition just spirals into this total nightmare of murder and madness. This line right here, this is the heart of the whole play. From the very first scene, the witches chant this chilling paradox, and boom, they set the stage for a world that's completely turned upside down, where good and evil get terrifyingly blurry. This idea of moral chaos is the engine that drives the entire story. So let's actually jump into the text itself and see how Shakespeare uses language to build this world of chaos and, frankly, psychological torment. These numbers, they give us a really fascinating peek behind the curtain of the play's structure. Get this, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth together speak almost 40% of the play's lines. Their dialogue is the twisted, beating heart of this tragedy. It's this private conversation that just spirals into very public chaos. Their words literally build their world and then, piece by piece, tear it all down. And this all leads us to the idea of vaulting ambition. That's how Macbeth himself describes his own fatal flaw. It's an ambition that's so powerful, so unchecked, that it overshoots its own goal and just comes crashing down. It's an absolutely timeless warning about the dangers of desire when you don't have a moral compass to guide it. All right, now let's see how this 400-year-old text is still inspiring artists today. I mean, the story is so versatile. It's been reimagined for the screen countless times, and every single version finds something new and interesting to say. I mean, this just shows you the play's incredible range. On the one hand, you've got Roman Polanski's gritty, brutally realistic version from 1971, and then on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have Akira Kurosawa's masterpiece, Throne of Blood, which reimagines the whole story in feudal Japan using the stylized traditions of Noh theater. It's the same story, but two completely different worlds. It's amazing. And I love this quote from a Reddit discussion because it just captures the passion that fans have for these adaptations. This user points out that even Polanski's supposedly accurate version is filled with historical mistakes. But you know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is the power of the interpretation. It really proves the story is a canvas, not some stuffy historical document. And believe me, the conversation never stops. From Orson Welles' groundbreaking expressionist film way back in 1948, all the way to Joel Coen's stark, black-and-white vision in 2021, directors just keep finding new angles. Every single adaptation is another layer added to Shakespeare's legacy, proving this story can be endlessly reinterpreted. So, okay, his work thrives on stage and screen. But its legacy is also forged in a place where millions of us first meet him, the classroom. And it's not just about reading old dusty texts. This is where Shakespeare becomes a living, breathing experience. One school in Mar del Plata, Argentina, decided to turn the study of his plays into this massive, ambitious, week-long festival. They moved way, way beyond the book. Just look at this incredible list of things they did. Students don't just read Macbeth, they live it. They're studying medieval history, they're designing these giant puppets and posters, and they're actually performing key scenes.
This kind of multidisciplinary approach proves that Shakespeare is a gateway to history, to art, to performance, to so much more.
So, after exploring the text, the stage, the screen, and the classroom, let's bring it all together. What's the final takeaway? Why, after 4 centuries, does Shakespeare still matter so much? Let's just start with a number, 3,000. It's estimated that Shakespeare contributed nearly 3,000 words and expressions to the English language. We're talking about words like eyeball and swagger. The man didn't just use the language, he helped build it. His impact is literally in the words we speak every single day.
But at the end of the day, his legacy is so much more than words. He's a cultural touchstone. His plays, and especially a story of ambition like Macbeth, they act like a mirror. And every new generation looks into that mirror and sees its own fears, its own desires, its own humanity reflected right back at them.
And that leads me to a final question for you to think about. If the story of Macbeth were told today, what would that vaulting ambition even look like? Would it be in politics? In Silicon Valley? Maybe on social media? The very fact that we can still ask that question just proves that the bloody heart of this 400-year-old play is still beating as strong as ever.